Hello friends, welcome to Steno Aspirants. Be ready. Start. The decision of the leading majority in the Golak Nath case, then Article 368 of the Constitution, merely prescribed the procedure for amendment of the Constitution and that the power of amendment had to be traced to entry 97 of List 1, Schedule 7, read with Articles 245, 246 and 248 is not correct. The decision of the leading majority and of Hidayatullah J that there is no distinction between an ordinary law and a law under the Constitution is incorrect. Article 13(2) took in only ordinary laws, not amendments to the Constitution effected under Article 368. The decision of the leading majority and of Hidayatullah J that Parliament had no power to amend the Constitution so as to abrogate or take away fundamental rights is incorrect. The power of amendment of the Constitution conferred by the then Article 368 was wide and unfettered. It reached every part and provision of the Constitution. Preamble is a part of the Constitution and is not outside the reach of the amending power under Article 368. There are no inherent limitations on the amending power in the sense that the amending body lacks the power to make amendments so as to damage or destroy the essential features or the fundamental principles of the Constitution. The 24th Amendment only declares the true legal position as it obtained before that amendment and is valid. Section 2A and Section 2B of the 25th Amendment are valid. Though courts have no power to question a law described in Article 31(2) substituted by Section 2A of the Amendment Act, on the ground that the amount fixed or determined for compulsory acquisition or requisition is not adequate or that the whole or any part of is to be given otherwise than in cash, courts have the power to question such a law if 1. The amount fixed is illusory, or 2. If the principles, if any, are stated for determining the amount are wholly irrelevant for fixation of the amount, or 3. If the power of compulsory acquisition or requisition is exercised for a collateral purpose, or 4. If the law of compulsory acquisition or requisition offends the principles of Constitution other than the one which is expressly accepted under Article 31(2)(b) introduced by Section 2B of the 25th Amendment Act. If the law is in the nature of a fraud on the Constitution. Section 3 of the 25th Amendment introduced Article 31C into the Constitution is valid. In spite, however, of the purported conclusiveness of the declaration therein mentioned, the court has jurisdiction to ascertain whether the law is for giving effect to the policy of the state towards securing the principles specified in Article 39B or C. If there is no direct and reasonable nexus between such a law and the provisions of Article 39B or C, the law will not, as stated in Article 31C, receive immunity from a challenge under Articles 14, 19 or 31. The 29th Amendment Act is valid. The two Kerala Acts mentioned therein, having been included in the 9th schedule, are entitled to the protection of Article 31B of the Constitution. I would direct each party to bear its own costs. As I am coming to the close of my judgment, drafts of judgments of several of my esteemed colleagues are trickling in. As I look at them, I hear a faint whisper of Lord. And then I thought I begin this judgment by saying that I wanted to avoid writing a separate judgment of my own. Article 368 does not enable Parliament to alter the basic structure of framework of the Constitution. Section 2A and B of the Constitution Act 1971 is valid. The first part of Section 3 of the Constitution Act 1971 is valid. The second part, namely, and no law containing a declaration that it is for giving effect to such policy shall be called in question in any court on the ground that it does not give effect to such policy is invalid. The Constitution Act 1971 is valid. The Constitution Bench will determine the validity of the Constitution Act 1971 in accordance with law. The cases are remitted to the Constitution Bench for disposal in accordance with law. There will be no order as to costs incurred up to this stage.